If you are over 60 and waiting for symptoms before checking for cancer, stop for a moment and listen carefully. I hear this question almost every week in my clinic. Doctor, I feel fine. Why would I need cancer screening? Just recently, a 67-year-old patient asked me the same thing. He had been feeling healthy for years. No pain, no weight loss, no obvious warning signs. What surprised him was this. He had stage 3 colon cancer. He was not ignoring his health. He was missing the early warning signs. New research shows that one very common cancer detection mistake, especially in adults over 60, can delay diagnosis by months or even years when treatment is most effective. I'm Dr. Maria Hernandez, and in this video I will explain that mistake, why most people overlook it, and the 5 proven ways to detect cancer early so you can catch it before it becomes life-threatening. Before we dive in, drop a comment with your age and where you're watching from today. Have you been putting off cancer screenings or relying only on how you feel? Write your answer below because your experience helps our entire community. And hit that subscribe button because I share life-saving health strategies like this every week to help you thrive after 60. Most people believe that if they feel fine, cancer cannot be growing inside their body. But in adults over 60, that assumption is often deadly wrong. Cancer is unique among diseases. In its earliest, most treatable stages, it often causes no symptoms at all. Without early detection, cancer cells multiply silently. That is why early symptoms are often completely absent. By the time pain, weight loss, or bleeding appears, the cancer may have already spread. Here is the problem. As we age, our risk of developing cancer increases dramatically. By the age of 60, more than half of all new cancer diagnoses occur. Our cells have accumulated decades of exposure to toxins, UV radiation, inflammation, and genetic copying errors. Each exposure increases the chance of cells turning cancerous. I saw this clearly with one of my patients named Robert, aged 69. He felt perfectly healthy. He exercised regularly, ate well, had good energy. His wife convinced him to get a routine colonoscopy. He resisted for 2 years because he felt fine. When he finally agreed, doctors found a large tumour. It was stage 2 colon cancer. What most people do not realise is that early-stage cancer does not announce itself. It does not hurt. It does not drain your energy. It grows quietly while you feel normal. In older adults, waiting for symptoms often means waiting until cancer has advanced beyond the easiest treatment window. This is why so many seniors discover cancer late and face much harder battles. Now here is where the first major mistake happens. Most seniors rely entirely on how they feel to judge their cancer risk. They assume that feeling healthy means being healthy. But in people over 60, this approach often does not work. Cancer detection requires intentional screening, not symptom watching. With age, the body's warning systems become less reliable. Pain perception decreases. Fatigue gets blamed on aging. Weight changes seem normal. Without it, early cancer goes undetected. This is not rare. It is extremely common. That 67-year-old patient I mentioned earlier was living his normal life every day. Same energy, same routine, same feeling of wellness. Yet his cancer was growing silently for months. When we implemented the proper screening protocol, not symptom waiting, his cancer was caught before it spread to distant organs. This is why early detection methods matter just as much as how you feel. If you're finding this helpful, go ahead and hit that like button. It really supports the channel and helps us reach more seniors who need this information. Now let us talk about the first proven early detection method, and this one is extremely powerful. Method number 1 is genetic and family history assessment. If you look at most people's approach to cancer screening, they follow generic guidelines without considering their personal risk. They assume everyone faces the same cancer risk. But your DNA and family history dramatically change your odds. Genetic factors influence 5 to 10% of all cancers directly. Family history patterns can indicate much higher risk for specific cancer types. That assessment requires detailed family health mapping and sometimes genetic testing. In adults over 60, understanding personal risk determines which screenings you need and how often. I saw this with a patient named Catherine, aged 64. She had been following standard screening schedules. Her mother and aunt both died from ovarian cancer in their 50s. She never mentioned this to her doctor. When we reviewed her family history in detail, the pattern was clear. We ordered genetic testing. She carried a BRCA1 mutation. Within 2 months, we detected early-stage ovarian cancer through specialized screening. Without that family history assessment, she would have waited for symptoms. Research shows that people with strong family histories of breast, ovarian, colon, or prostate cancer benefit from earlier and more frequent screening starting 10 years before the youngest family diagnosis. Another critical tool is understanding your ethnic and environmental risk factors. Certain cancers occur more frequently in specific populations. African Americans have higher prostate cancer rates. Ashkenazi Jewish populations carry higher BRCA mutation rates. People with decades of sun exposure face elevated skin cancer risk. There is also a dangerous misunderstanding about genetic testing. Some people believe genetic testing only matters for young people. In reality, genetic information is valuable at any age. It helps determine surveillance intensity and can guide treatment if cancer is found. The key lesson here is simple. If you are over 60, assuming average risk may cause you to miss critical early detection opportunities. Knowing your specific risk allows personalized screening. Now we come to the second proven method, and this one saves thousands of lives every year. Method number 2 is age-appropriate cancer screening tests. Many people either skip recommended screenings entirely or do them inconsistently. They get busy. They feel healthy. They postpone appointments. Cancer screening does not wait for convenience. Your cells do not care about your schedule. Cancer grows whether you check for it or not. I saw this pattern in a 72-year-old patient named James. He skipped his colonoscopy for 5 years because he felt fine. When he finally scheduled it, doctors found multiple polyps and one early cancer. Had he waited another year, the cancer would have been much more advanced. When he followed the screening schedule consistently, his follow-up surveillance caught another polyp before it turned cancerous. After 18 months of regular monitoring, his colon remained cancer-free. Another overlooked issue is skipping screenings that feel uncomfortable or embarrassing. Many seniors avoid colonoscopies, prostate exams, or pelvic exams. Discomfort is temporary. Cancer is permanent. For most seniors, the essential cancer screenings include colonoscopy every 10 years or stool-based tests more frequently, mammography every 1 to 2 years for women, low-dose CT for lung cancer in people with significant smoking history, prostate screening discussion for men, and skin checks annually. The exact schedule depends on personal risk factors. Finally, many seniors stop screening after age 75, assuming they are too old. Age alone should not determine screening. Overall health, life expectancy, and personal preference matter more. If you are healthy and active at 78, you may benefit from continued screening. I had a patient aged 76 who discovered early breast cancer through routine mammography. She was treated successfully and remains cancer-free 6 years later. That screening saved her life. By this point, you may realize something important. Most seniors are not refusing all screening. They are being inconsistent or following outdated schedules. Each missed screening increases risk. Together, these gaps can allow cancer to advance silently. Now, let me walk you through the third proven detection method for seniors. This is the approach I use with my own patients over 60. Method number 3 is blood-based biomarker testing and emerging cancer detection technology. For most seniors, traditional screening covers major cancer types. But emerging blood tests can now detect multiple cancer types simultaneously through circulating tumor DNA and protein markers. These are active detection tools. Your body releases cancer signals into the bloodstream long before tumors become visible. Older screening methods looked for tumors. Newer methods look for molecular evidence of cancer. Tests like multi-cancer early detection blood tests analyze cell-free DNA fragments released by tumors. These fragments carry genetic signatures that identify cancer presence and location. This alone can dramatically improve early detection rates. Third, the appropriate use of these tests. For high-risk seniors or those with concerning symptoms, multi-cancer detection tests provide additional surveillance beyond traditional screening. A common effective approach is combining traditional imaging and biopsy screening with annual or biannual blood-based biomarker panels. Some people need more initially, then less frequent monitoring. This is not a replacement for standard screening. Blood tests are supplementary tools. Excess false positives can cause unnecessary anxiety in testing. Fourth, understanding limitations. These tests are not perfect. They can miss some cancers and occasionally signal cancer when none exists. Results must be interpreted carefully with your physician. Never use blood tests as the only cancer detection strategy. Fifth, traditional tumor markers still matter. For specific cancers, markers like PSA for prostate, CA19-9 for pancreatic, or CEA for colon can track disease or detect recurrence. In some high-risk patients, monitoring these markers helps catch cancer earlier. Sixth, integration with imaging. Blood tests work best when combined with CT scans, MRI, ultrasound, or PET scans for confirmation and localization. Detection without location requires additional testing. Seventh, monitoring trends over time. Single abnormal results mean less than patterns over months. Are markers rising, staying stable, falling? Trend analysis provides better risk assessment than isolated results. I had a patient aged 70 who followed this combined protocol. Her routine mammogram was normal, but her multi-cancer detection blood test showed abnormal signals. Further imaging found a small pancreatic lesion. After 2 months of monitoring and biopsy, early-stage pancreatic cancer was confirmed. Treatment began immediately. That blood test gave her a chance she would not have had otherwise. At this point, it is important to understand one critical truth. Early detection technology is powerful, but it is not magic. There are situations where even perfect screening will not prevent all cancer deaths. One of the most common issues is aggressive, fast-growing cancers. If cancer doubles in size every few weeks, even frequent screening may not catch it early enough. Another overlooked factor is screening interval gaps. Cancer can develop and grow significantly between screening appointments. In seniors with certain genetic mutations, standard 10-year colonoscopy intervals may be too long. Inflammation is another silent contributor. Chronic inflammation creates environments where cancer thrives, and traditional screening may miss inflammatory-driven cancers until they are advanced. There is also the issue of screening compliance. Not all screenings work equally well. Stool-based colon cancer tests require proper sample collection. Inadequate preparation for colonoscopy reduces polyp detection. Poor mammogram positioning misses tissue. If these technical issues occur, screening effectiveness drops. This is why persistent symptoms or family history should always be evaluated thoroughly by a medical professional. Do not assume that one normal test result means permanent safety. I want to share a quick example. A 71-year-old woman came to me frustrated. She had normal colonoscopy results 8 years prior. Now she had rectal bleeding. She assumed it was hemorrhoids. Further evaluation revealed rectal cancer. It had developed after her last screening. Once the correct diagnosis was made and treatment started, she responded well. But earlier detection would have meant easier treatment. Now let us continue with the fourth proven early detection method. Method number 4 is recognizing subtle warning signs your body gives you. Many seniors dismiss early cancer symptoms as normal aging. Fatigue gets blamed on getting older. Weight loss seems like a natural metabolism change. Persistent cough gets ignored for months. These symptoms are your body's way of signaling something is wrong. Unexplained weight loss of 10 pounds or more without trying is a red flag. Persistent fatigue that does not improve with rest should be evaluated. Changes in bowel or bladder habits lasting more than a few weeks matter. Unusual bleeding from any body opening requires investigation. Lumps or thickening anywhere on the body need examination. Persistent cough or hoarseness beyond 3 weeks should be checked. Difficulty swallowing that worsens over time is significant. Skin changes including new moles, changing moles, or sores that do not heal require evaluation. I saw this clearly with a 68-year-old patient named Linda. She felt increasingly tired for 6 months. She blamed it on stress and poor sleep. Her daughter insisted she see a doctor. Blood work revealed severe anemia. Further testing found stomach cancer causing slow bleeding. Treatment started within 3 weeks of finally seeking evaluation. Many seniors wait too long because symptoms seem minor or embarrassing. A patient aged 73 ignored rectal bleeding for 8 months, assuming it was hemorrhoids. It was colon cancer. Early evaluation could have caught it at stage 1 instead of stage 3. The key principle is this: new symptoms that persist beyond 2 to 3 weeks or that progressively worsen should always be evaluated. Do not wait for symptoms to become severe. Cancer is easiest to treat when symptoms are still mild. Now we come to the fifth and final proven detection method. Method number 5 is lifestyle modification and inflammation reduction. This surprises most seniors because it is not a test or screening. It is prevention that makes detection less necessary. Chronic inflammation drives cancer development. High blood sugar feeds cancer cells. Obesity increases cancer risk for at least 13 different cancer types. Smoking damages DNA in cells throughout the body. Excessive alcohol increases risk for mouth, throat, liver, breast and colon cancers. Poor sleep disrupts immune surveillance of abnormal cells. High stress levels suppress cancer-fighting immune function. By reducing these factors, you lower your baseline cancer risk. This makes early detection screenings even more effective. Now let us continue with the fourth proven early detection method. Method number 4 is recognizing subtle warning signs your body gives you. Many seniors dismiss early cancer symptoms as normal aging. Fatigue gets blamed on getting older. Weight loss seems like a natural metabolism change. Persistent cough gets ignored for months. These symptoms are your body's way of signaling something is wrong. Unexplained weight loss of 10 pounds or more without trying is a red flag. Persistent fatigue that does not improve with rest should be evaluated. Changes in bowel or bladder habits lasting more than a few weeks matter. Unusual bleeding from any body opening requires investigation. Lumps or thickening anywhere on the body need examination. Persistent cough or hoarseness beyond 3 weeks should be checked. Difficulty swallowing that worsens over time is significant. Skin changes including new moles, changing moles or sores that do not heal require evaluation. A 66-year-old patient named Thomas had pre-diabetes, was 40 pounds overweight, and had fatty liver disease. His inflammation markers were elevated. His fasting blood sugar hovered around 115. His liver enzymes showed chronic stress. His C-reactive protein, a key inflammation marker, was more than 3 times the normal range. When I first met Thomas, he was discouraged. He had tried multiple diets over the years. Nothing seemed to stick. He felt tired most afternoons. His knees ached from carrying extra weight. He was taking medication for high blood pressure. His doctor had warned him about diabetes risk, but he did not know how this connected to cancer. We sat down and had a long conversation about inflammation. I explained that chronic inflammation is like leaving a fire burning inside your body. That fire damages healthy cells. It creates an environment where cancer cells can grow more easily. His elevated blood sugar was feeding that fire. His excess weight was producing inflammatory chemicals. His fatty liver was releasing toxins into his bloodstream. All of these factors were working together to increase his cancer risk significantly. Thomas listened carefully. Then he asked me a simple question. What exactly do I need to do? We focused on 3 main areas: weight loss, blood sugar control, and anti-inflammatory eating. For weight loss, we did not put him on a restrictive crash diet. Instead, we reduced his portion sizes gradually. We eliminated sugary drinks completely. We increased his vegetable intake at every meal. We added lean proteins like fish, chicken, and legumes. We cut back on processed foods and refined carbohydrates. For blood sugar control, we monitored his fasting glucose weekly. We taught him how certain foods spiked his blood sugar while others kept it stable. We introduced him to low glycemic eating. He started eating smaller, more frequent meals to avoid blood sugar swings. He added a 20-minute walk after dinner every night. That single habit made a dramatic difference in his glucose levels. For anti-inflammatory eating, we emphasized foods that fight inflammation naturally. He added fatty fish like salmon and sardines 3 times per week for omega-3 fatty acids. He increased his intake of colorful vegetables, especially leafy greens, berries, and cruciferous vegetables like broccoli and cauliflower. We added turmeric, ginger, and garlic to his cooking. He started drinking green tea instead of soda. He replaced vegetable oils with extra virgin olive oil. He reduced red meat consumption to once per week. He eliminated fried foods almost entirely. Within 8 months, the transformation was remarkable. Thomas lost 35 pounds. His energy levels increased dramatically. He no longer needed afternoon naps. His knee pain decreased significantly. His fasting blood sugar dropped to 92, well within the normal range. His liver enzymes normalized completely. His C-reactive protein fell from 8.2 to 1.4, a normal level. His blood pressure improved so much that his doctor reduced his medication dosage. But most importantly for our discussion, his cancer risk profile improved dramatically. His weight loss alone reduced his risk for 13 different types of cancer. His improved blood sugar control meant cancer cells would have less fuel to grow. His reduced inflammation meant his immune system could function better at detecting and destroying abnormal cells. His healthier liver meant better detoxification of cancer-causing substances. When Thomas came back for his follow-up appointment at 10 months, he looked like a different person. He was smiling. He moved with confidence. He told me he felt 20 years younger. More importantly, he understood that these changes were not just about feeling better today. They were about preventing serious disease tomorrow. Research clearly shows that maintaining healthy weight, controlling blood sugar, eating anti-inflammatory foods rich in vegetables and omega-3 fats, exercising regularly, avoiding tobacco completely, limiting alcohol to moderate levels, managing stress through meditation or therapy, and sleeping 7 to 8 hours nightly all reduce cancer incidence significantly. These are not small effects. Studies show that maintaining a healthy weight can reduce cancer risk by 20 to 40%, depending on the cancer type. Regular physical activity reduces colon cancer risk by up to 30%. Anti-inflammatory diets rich in vegetables and fish reduce overall cancer mortality. Good sleep supports immune function that destroys abnormal cells before they become tumours. Stress reduction lowers cortisol levels that otherwise suppress cancer-fighting immune responses. The beautiful thing about lifestyle modification is that every positive change supports every other change. When you lose weight, your blood sugar improves. When your blood sugar improves, inflammation decreases. When inflammation decreases, you sleep better. When you sleep better, stress hormones normalize. When stress hormones normalize, your immune system functions better. It is a positive cycle that builds on itself. But here is what I want you to understand clearly. This does not replace screening. It works with screening to provide maximum protection. Think about it this way. Lifestyle modification reduces the number of abnormal cells that develop in the first place. Screening catches the ones that develop despite your best efforts. You need both strategies working together. I have seen patients who lived incredibly healthy lifestyles still develop cancer. Genetics, environmental exposures, and simple bad luck still play roles. That is why screening remains essential even when you do everything right with diet and exercise. I have also seen patients who relied only on screening while continuing to smoke, eat poorly, and ignore their health. They caught some cancers early, but they developed more cancers more frequently than necessary. The optimal approach combines both. Live in a way that minimizes cancer development. Screen regularly to catch anything that develops anyway. I encourage you to think of cancer prevention and detection as two sides of the same coin. Prevention reduces the chance cancer develops. Detection catches it early when prevention was not enough. Together they provide the strongest defense. Neither strategy alone is sufficient. Both strategies together provide maximum protection. Before we end, I want to leave you with one final thought. A woman in her early 70s came to see me after years of avoiding cancer screenings. Her name was Margaret. She had watched her mother die from breast cancer 30 years earlier. The experience traumatized her. She believed that if cancer was going to happen, there was nothing she could do. She thought cancer was entirely genetic and completely out of her control. She avoided mammograms because she did not want to know. She avoided discussing family history because it scared her. She lived in a state of quiet fear for decades. When Margaret finally came to my office, it was because her daughter insisted. Her daughter had recently started following evidence-based health information. She learned that early detection saves lives. She practically dragged her mother to the appointment. Margaret sat in my office with her arms crossed. She was defensive. She expected me to lecture her. Instead, we had a conversation. I asked about her mother's cancer. I asked what she understood about cancer risk. I asked what scared her most about screening. After we reviewed the evidence, everything she believed was wrong. Yes, family history matters, but it is not destiny. Yes, some cancers have genetic components, but lifestyle and early detection dramatically change outcomes. Yes, her mother died from cancer, but treatment options today are vastly better than 30 years ago. Margaret's whole framework shifted during that conversation. She realized that avoiding information did not protect her. It endangered her. She started following age-appropriate screening schedules. She scheduled her first mammogram in 15 years. She had her first colonoscopy. She completed a low-dose CT scan for lung cancer screening because she had smoked for 20 years in her youth. She assessed her family history properly and discovered elevated risk not just for breast cancer, but also for ovarian cancer. We discussed genetic testing. She decided to proceed. The results showed she did not carry BRCA mutations, which was reassuring. But her family history still warranted closer surveillance. She made lifestyle changes that reduced inflammation. She quit smoking completely after 5 years of occasional cigarette use. She started walking 30 minutes daily. She improved her diet by adding more vegetables and reducing processed foods. She lost 18 pounds over 6 months. She learned to recognize warning signs. I gave her a list of symptoms that should never be ignored. Unexplained lumps, persistent pain, unusual bleeding, unexplained weight loss, changes in bowel habits. She kept that list on her refrigerator. 14 months later, a routine mammogram found a small abnormality. Follow-up imaging and biopsy confirmed early-stage breast cancer. It was stage 1, confined to a small area, highly treatable. The radiologist told her that if she had waited another year, the cancer likely would have progressed to stage 2 or beyond. Margaret underwent a lumpectomy and short-course radiation therapy. No chemotherapy was needed. Her prognosis was excellent. Treatment was successful. When she came back for her follow-up appointment after completing treatment, she told me something I will never forget. She said, "I used to think cancer just happened to people randomly. I thought I had no control. I thought knowledge would only bring bad news. Now I understand I have some control. I cannot prevent every cancer, but I can catch it early. I can live in a way that reduces my risk. Early detection gave me a fighting chance. If I had kept avoiding screening, this cancer would have grown silently for years. By the time I felt a lump, it might have been too late for simple treatment." Margaret's voice cracked when she said that last part. She thought about all the years she wasted living in fear instead of living with knowledge. But she also felt gratitude. Gratitude that she finally took action. Gratitude that her daughter persisted. Gratitude that early detection worked exactly as it should. That is the difference between hoping cancer does not happen and actively working to catch it early. Hope is not a strategy. Action is a strategy. Knowledge is a strategy. Screening is a strategy. Prevention is a strategy. If you are over 60, cancer screening is not optional. But how you approach it matters more than most people realize. A haphazard approach where you skip years, avoid uncomfortable tests, or only screen when you feel symptoms will not protect you. A comprehensive approach where you assess your personal risk, follow appropriate schedules, make lifestyle modifications, and recognize warning signs gives you the best possible chance. I encourage you to look at your current screening plan tonight, not next week. Not when you finish this video and forget about it. Tonight. Pull out your medical records. Check when you last had a colonoscopy, mammogram, or other cancer screening. Ask yourself one simple question. Am I doing everything possible to catch cancer at its most treatable stage, or am I waiting and hoping? If you are waiting and hoping, it is time to change that approach. Make the appointments you have been avoiding. Have the conversations with your doctor you have been postponing. Assess your family history honestly. Make the lifestyle changes that reduce your baseline risk. Learn the warning signs and commit to acting on them promptly. Your life may depend on these decisions. Early-stage cancer is often curable. Late-stage cancer is often not. The difference between those outcomes is usually early detection. Before you go, comment below with your age and where you're watching from. Tell me which cancer screenings you are current on and what changes you are planning to make. Are you going to schedule that colonoscopy you have been avoiding? Are you going to assess your family history properly? Are you going to make lifestyle changes that reduce inflammation? I read every comment and love hearing from our community. Your commitment might inspire someone else watching this video to take action too. If this video helped you understand something important about your health, share it with someone you care about. Send it to a friend who has been avoiding screening. Share it with a family member who needs this information. Post it on social media where other seniors can find it. Many seniors are missing critical early detection opportunities and do not know it. They think feeling fine means being fine. They think cancer screening is only for people with symptoms. They think their family history does not matter. All of these beliefs can be deadly. Help spread accurate information that saves lives. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button for more life-changing health tips designed specifically for seniors. We cover topics like heart health, diabetes prevention, brain health, nutrition, and so much more. Every video is designed to give you actionable information you can use immediately to improve your health and longevity. Remember, early cancer detection saves lives, but only if you take action. Knowledge without action changes nothing. I'm Dr. Maria Hernandez. Stay strong, stay healthy, and I'll see you in the next video.